So the Oxford University is going to be extending exam times in math and computer sciences by like I don't know 15 to 20 minutes or so to try to equalize the number of women and men graduating with top scores in these departments. They want to try to like obviously fill in the gender gap, but this is clearly just lowering the standards in order to allow women to see themselves as equal to men in these fields. But in reality, you're just making the qualification less difficult to attain so you can get more people in there. And this always happens in pretty much all aspects of society. Like firemen nowadays, the level of physical fitness and all this stuff that you need to go in there now because they allow women there has been drastically reduced. And women have to do way less than men to get the same fucking job, which is ridiculous, right? Like, I don't want to depend on a 120-pound woman to pull me out of a burning building, okay? I'm sorry, but I do not want to depend on that. And the same goes with the police force, same goes with the military, the same goes with most things, right? They lower the qualification in order to try to equal out the numbers. And that this is not going to help anybody in the end, right? Because now you just have a bigger pool of people to choose from, but a lot of them are just less qualified. So it's pretty counterintuitive, and it's not actually going to increase productivity to any degree, because if these women could compete, they wouldn't need to lower the qualifications. And people would say, oh, it's not pertinent at the time, but it is. It's like, if I can do this equation 10 to 15 minutes faster than you, then a company is more likely to hire me as opposed to you. And if you're competing with other countries who are using like 90 minutes to do the test where your country is using like 110 minutes, they're going to have an advantage, because they're going to be it's going to be easier for them to tell. It's like, oh, these people were at the top of their class in 90 minutes. We know these people can do this math, do these calculations very fast and faster than the competitors, because sometimes in the market you just have to be an hour ahead of somebody else and figure it out an hour before them, and then you can make all the money, right? Like, time matters. So them lowering this is just lowering the bar for women so they can compete with men, which is bullshit. Some things are just not going to be equal. They will never be equal. Like I said, there will not be equal outcomes. There will always be different outcomes. So what we need to focus on is equal opportunity. Allow women to have the right to attempt to do these things, but we should not lower the quality so then we can equal up the numbers, because that's just stupid. It's like Trudeau with his fucking cabinet. It's like, oh, 2015, it's just what we should do because this is the way it is. It's like, no. Okay, we want at the most competent people as possible having the best grades. We don't want to lower the bar so we don't know who is actually good, because that's what's going to happen. You lower the bar so much, you're going to be like, okay, well, you can choose between a bunch of these groups of people, but there is a lot of variation within that group now, which you have created by lowering the bar. So now you're less sure of the candidates you have to choose from, because if you lower the bar to 110 minutes, now you're like, okay, well, now I have people in here who are kind of slow I have to choose from. Whereas if it was 90 minutes or slower, okay, these people can do their work fast, and I don't have to worry about this guy being slow, possibly in his calculations. So this is just going to make them less competitive. It's going to make the people coming out of Oxford less, people are not going to want to hire them as much as people coming from other universities who have like a shorter time span to complete the test, because they show they did it, they can do it faster. And like I said before, in the free market, like minutes, hours, days. If you could figure out a calculation a day before a competitor, you could corner the market, make a lot of money. So it does matter, right? It does matter how fast you can do things. But that's all I pretty much had to say. If you like my content, subscribe and have a good day. See ya.